Hello, welcome Magic lovers. This week's Rogue Wednesday is a Teysa Aristocrats deck. So this deck was submitted to me by a viewer by the name of Archivoid, who was real excited to see me play this deck. Just to let you guys know, I do always read every comment that I get. I don't always have time to comment on everyone. I try to when I can, but if people submit me a deck, it does go on a list, and I didn't really reply to this one. But it did go on a list, and they asked me again, and I told them, hey, it went on a list. I'll play it when I get a chance. I don't necessarily play decks in the order in which they're submitted. I go with my gut, and then I mix in some of my own brews and stuff like that. Just, whatever feels right at the time. It's important to play what you're interested in. So I was definitely very, very interested in this deck. I just had a couple other things on the docket. So there are occasionally times where I've told players that I'm not really interested in playing a deck, and I usually do comment in that case. But if you submit a deck and I don't comment, I have added it to a list of decks for future play, and I will get to it when I can. I just don't necessarily always play them in the order that they're submitted. So this one is a Aristocrats deck, which means you're looking to sacrifice your creatures for value. Originally named that because of the Cartel Aristocrat, I think. There might have been older Aristocrats, but I remember when this was in Standard, and it was a very underpowered looking deck that had some really, really good synergies that actually made its 2/2s and stuff like that go the distance. Because you're definitely looking for those free sacrifice abilities. So, like Spawning Pit and Carrion Feeder and Viscera Seer. You're looking for ways to sacrifice your creatures without having to pay mana. And then you're looking for creatures that you can get back, creatures you don't really care about. Super excited to be playing Ophiomancer again. The last time I played that card, it was really awesome. I don't know why it's not in more decks. Maybe it's because you really want the sacrifice outlet in order to make it good, so that you just keep getting that snake over and over again. Because it's each upkeep. So you can block with that thing, and then you can, get another one on your upkeep, and then you can sack it, and then you get another one on their upkeep, and you can block it or block with it or sack it. It does have Death Touch. It's an awesome creature, and also excited to be playing with, where'd that guy go? Skurstack High Priest, an interesting card. And finally picked up a Kalitas now that it's dropped in price after it rotated out of Standard. So some really interesting synergies here. Some really cool sacrifice effects and some really cool combos. The Darkest Hour combos with Teysa, basically letting you get infinite tokens, I believe. And then Blasting Station is just like written like you should combo with this card. And so there's combos with that one, and then there's obviously Painter Servant and Grindstone, and there's a couple ways to get it. And yeah, I'm if you can't tell, I'm pretty excited to play this deck. So let's see how it does. Alright, I got a match. I am on the draw. I don't really like the mana here, so I'm going to mulligan. And this looks keepable. I think I'd rather have a creature than a sacrifice outlet. I could possibly play the Grim Horror Specs as a morph. Ooh. It's really windy outside. Our power just clicked for a second. I am on a battery backup though. I'll just play the camera guy doesn't really do anything right now. Oh, I am playing against Edgar Markov. Didn't even think to look at that. So that's kind of cool. At least I got a couple ways to get this Grim Horror Specs back. Right? Alright, well I'm Fatal pushing the crap out of that thing. Let's go Scrubland. And dead. And a Carrion Feeder. Alright. potentially sacrifice it to draw a card next turn. Not going to worry about this 1 damage. Certainly not going to sacrifice Carrion Feeder. Alright, Asylum Visitor. Not something I'm super worried. I mean, the 3/1 body isn't great for me, but I've never had a lot of love for Jeweled Amulet. Yeah, I'm not gonna morph this thing. And I'm not gonna play the Jeweled Amulet when I can't put a mana on it. I might play a discard spell or something. I don't know. I might, though, block with a Carrion Feeder and sacrifice it to its own ability. Ooh. That thing is a problem. What are you going to do with it? If they're not attacking, if they're... It's going to be hard to get anything to live through any of that. X or less. I could do this to draw 1 card. Especially if they go after my Carrion Feeder here. Cycling Wake the Dead isn't great though. Oh, it's only during combat. Captivating Vampire plus 5 vampires equals not fun. Yep. Not going to give them my creatures. All right. All right. Well, I can block the Captivating Vampire with his Wake the Dead. Hopefully they attack with it. Yep. Let's hope they don't have removal. I think I got a double block here, just in case they have removal. Then I can sacrifice Grim Horsebacks to the Carrion Feeder. I have to get rid of this thing. Oh, Carrion Feeder can't block. Never mind. Zealous Pressure. Jeez. Alright. Sacrifice the Carrion Feeder to its own ability to draw a card. That's a blowout. I don't think this deck's playing any Wraths. Well, Karmic Guide has pro-black. I also have Shred Memory, which gives a 2-drop, which is... The Pontiff is a 3-drop. That doesn't do it anyways. Diabolic Intent, Blood Artist, Bitter Blossom. Nothing looks too great. Oop, nope, 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 nope. That is an instant though. I could just do it again. Or I could Karmic Guide. I'm going to try doing it again first. Because they're not going to swing with a Captivating Vampire into Karmic Guide, and Karmic Guide locks down my mana the next turn because I have to keep it around. So I'm going to try the Rally the Ancestors plan first. And hope they don't have another blowout. Oh, no, I need 3. A lot of life lost here. Alright, I'm at 4 life. Oh! I don't think I can survive. I get 2 blockers, then I take 4 damage. None of this is life gain or anything like that. Can I gain life with any of these things? Get a creature to do Diabolic Intent. Painter's Servant doesn't win the game. Aristocrat. No. Yeah, I mean, I was pretty much just beaten by the, maybe they'll sacrifice a token or something like that. I don't know. But the Captivating Vampire, like, I couldn't play any creatures out. Otherwise, I would have played my commander, and I might have been in an alright position. But I couldn't. So, pretty much single-handedly beaten by the Captivating Vampire. They don't... They don't need to overthink this. They actually just need to swing for 4. Yeah, I'm dead. Oh, yeah. That does it too. Alright, we'll give him the GG. Alright, got another match. I am on the play. And playing against Atheros. And I like this hand. Hand looks fine. Probably gonna Mox Diamond the Shambling Vent. Play the Jit. I don't like getting rid of a Shambling Vent, but it's the only untapped, or it's, you know, it's the only way I can play something on turn 2, 1 and 2. It's more efficient. Well, maybe I want the Spawning Pit, but Jit's just an awesome card. Probably play Buried Alive when I have a land to play so that I can get a Bloodghast back. Opponent says pricey. Yeah, I've got quite a bit of money invested in this format. I don't remember which of the Moxes is the most... Shadowborn Apostle is the most expensive. Oh, Bloodsoak's Champion is something I would have wanted to get, most likely. I assume that's what the Buried Alive is for. It's for getting these kind of comes back from the graveyard. I think there's still probably 3 in my library, if not more. Alright, Fellwar Stone. Shadowborn Apostle, if you're not familiar, is a crazy card. You can play any number of them, and then you sacrifice 6 of them to get a demon creature out of your library. I've seen that paired with Atheros before. Because then you can just get them back. There's another one. Well, they're both going to die. Yeah, your attack's not good there. No. Let's go for these 2 black mana. Alright, attack with Teysa. No blocks. Alright, there's the Jit. Looking like the fantastic card that it is. There's some matchups and some games where it just, Jit looks pretty lackluster. There's seen a few games where I've been able to just play around even a really good Jit, or my opponent has played around a Jit that's really good in the matchup. Sometimes you can just play around it, but this right here early on, I think it's pretty strong. I'm gonna play the Bloodsoaked Champion. It's hard for that to be wrong. It's easy to get it back. Opponent plays Aether Hub. Interesting card. Yeah, seems pretty decent. Especially if you have a use for the energy. There's not a lot of energy cards in the format. I guess you just use it for the mana, but if you don't need that anymore, like they've got a decent number of colors. Alright, there's Atheros. Ooh, Bitter Blossom and Spawning Pit. A pretty good combo there. Keeps me really resilient. Get a couple tokens. And I can, if I have mana I'm not using, I can sacrifice this guy to Spawning Pit and then just get him right back. So he's a nice little combo. Especially if he's the one that attacked. You can even attack into, you know, you can chump attack with it, sacrifice it, spend the mana and get it right back. Archfiend of Depravity. 2 creatures they control and then they sacrifice the rest. Alright, so I think I can do something interesting here. First of all, this is +2/+2, isn't it? I don't need to move it, do I? I could also just Abyssal Gatekeeper and get rid of that thing. I'm more worried about the 5/4 body than anything else. So if they block, I only have to spend 2 tokens to kill it. If they don't block, I have to spend 4 tokens to kill it. So this is not the correct way to do it. It's dead no matter what. I'll spend 3 life. Kind of half forgot about this ability. So we can here we go. That's pretty awesome. Because I don't really have anything else I want to do with my mana. I'm going to hold on to this Abyssal Gatekeeper. I'm going to not worry about the Buried Alive right now. I've got... This is actually a pretty good thing to be doing with my mana right here. And I can exile any creature with the 3 white tokens. Alright, there's that... Cycling, a Desert of the Glorified. They're digging. Alright, another Apostle. Okay, Demon Tribal thing going here. Is that... That's a combo out, isn't it? Is there a way to combo out this? I need it to always be a black creature. I need the, there's a, whatchamacallit? Darkest Hour. I think that's the combo there. It's still a great card. Do I just kill this thing? I want to get in damage. I'm winning the damage war by a lot. I don't get to recycle the blood-soaked champion here. I can make a spawning pit token. Pretty wrath resistant. Incredibly wrath resistant. Let's just say go, I think. I don't really have a need to do anything right now. I can't make apostles work in 1v1. Yeah. Sorry, man. In multiplayer commander, you could probably... You really need card advantage. I mean, I guess the Atheros is supposed to do that. But if somebody's winning the damage race... Whenever a creature with power 1 or less is put in your graveyard from the... Yeah, this is basically free. Using it again doesn't really do that much for me. It removes more damage than it keeps around. Yeah, whatever. We'll untap it, even though it's not tapped. This is 3 counters, so 6, 8, 10, 14... 16 damage, and then the blasting station. Yeah. Did I let that go on the stack already? Why am I yielded? I don't think I hit okay, but alright. Doesn't matter a lot. Yeah, okay. Got to see some really cool synergies going there, though. I got another match. I am on the play. Playing against Marath. A creature control deck. I'm going to keep this. I think I'm going to lead with the Bog. It's a pretty good hand. Spawning Pit gives me some options against Marath. Sacrificing my creatures and whatnot. And then Phyrexian Arena obviously gives me some card advantage. Alright, no turn 1 ramp. That's a good sign. Viscera Seer. I think I'm still going to use my mana. Alright, Skull Clamp. And a red land. And 100% playing Phyrexian Arena here. I could play the Lingering Souls next turn. No, they're not playing Marath. Birthing Pod. Ooh. Deck really needs a Vindicator. Just something to... I don't think there's anything to like remove artifacts and enchantments despite the fact that I'm playing white. There's no Council Blessing. There's no... It just doesn't seem to be anything. Sometimes you need that. Swords to Plowshare is pretty good. Worry about the, I don't really even need the altar. Maybe I should have held up the swords to deal with the Birthing Pod target. No, you don't actually get a window, do you? Alright. Do I play my commander? It seems like there's a really good chance it's going to die if I play it. I could just Viscera Seer into Lingering Souls. That's pretty good. Then I have the option to kill a creature, exile a creature with Teysa because of the spirits. All right, here's Marath. I assume. Recruiter of the Guard. Alright. Swordsing that immediately so that they can't Birthing Pod. Fortunately, it has a trigger. I don't know if it's the best play in the world. They also can't Skull Clamp it, so it's probably alright. Alright, they got Oracle of Moldiah, which they can't cast this turn. Alright, so... I really want a Fanatical Devotion before I play Teysa. Let's attack with all our creatures. Because they can just trade Marath for Teysa. And then Marath gets bigger. Whereas Teysa just stays the same. Don't know if this is right. Seems like an alright play. Lets us lead into Teysa well. They could just wipe all our spirits. But that also wipes Marath. Or they might just want this Oracle of Medaya. Which isn't great for Birthing Pod or... I mean, I guess it's alright for Birthing Pod if you get a land. You get a Palace Jailer. Yep, they're birthing potting it. Alright. Palace Jailer are not the best anyways against all these spirit tokens. They get Karmic Bot Guide, getting back the Oracle Medaya. Alright. It's a pretty good combo, I guess. Alright, I'm going to play Teysa. I'm going to play the Jet. I'm going to sacrifice Viscera Seer. So it gives me a 1/1 creature anyways to equip the Jet. Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea. Well, I mean, it's actually kind of iffy if you want to block or not. Part of me wants to exile that Karmic Guide, but I don't think that's quite right. I could get rid of the Oracle Medaya. That's probably right. So I don't think they want to keep the Karmic Guide around just to birthing pot it. I don't think they can... Nope, they can't actually even pay for it. Reassembling Skeleton, a cool synergy. Even Mind Sensor. Alright. Are you just immediately sacking it? Are you skull clamping it or... Okay. They're birthing potting it. They're paying life, so they're keeping 2 mana up. I don't know what's it for. Oh, Kavu? Flamethrower? Whatever. Can't think of the name of it for some reason. But we can regenerate. Importantly, not Reclamation Sage. Felidar Guardian. So they can untap the breeding pool, birthing pod, sack it again, and then probably get the ooze to deal with my Jit. That's my guess. Actually, oh, I should have exiled it in response. Jit's pretty important. Letting them ramp up to 2, not a big deal. Alright, they're going for the card draw. I have this reassembling skeleton, which actually, for every black mana, I get it back again because of the Ashnod's altar. And I might even draw another black mana. And then it makes a white creature. And we get to keep the Jit around. Unless we're losing Teysa here. Mother of Runes. Alright. Well, that is not going to survive. Alright, Phyrexian Arena. Didn't draw a black land, but let's attack. Actually, we drew an Orzhov Signet, which is basically free. They shouldn't have any free spells here. Alright, damage goes through. Kill that thing right away. Play the reassembling skeleton. Sacrifice the reassembling skeleton. Reassemble the skeleton. Sacrifice the reassembling skeleton. Reassemble the skeleton. Play the Signet. Sacrifice the reassembling skeleton. Activate the Signet. Reassemble the skeleton. And then did I do the mana wrong for that? I'm not sure if I did. And then I can sacrifice it to something else and then get it back, because I don't really need sacrifice it to that and get it right back. Alright. Allows us to deal with a decent number of creatures that my opponent could play here. And also regenerate Teysa. And we got to keep doing that as well. Alright. Not playing creature spells, really. I guess they can get Reclamation Sage. I don't have a window here to kill that thing. The question is, do I want to exile the Reclamation Sage to stop them from drawing cards? And I don't know the answer to that. It stops 3 damage. And they're at 12 life. But the card draw... I think letting them draw cards is a way that... Well, I can just... Okay, I can just jit it. Never mind. Alright, they took him into to side and then decided to go after the jit. Not surprising. So we'll kill that in response. See what else they have. Gaddock Teague. Alright. Alright. That does potentially save them a bunch of life. I'm going to sack this thing. Oh. It also combos with Teysa to make infinite creatures. And then that. And infinite mana, I believe. Oh, no. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, okay. I was like, why are they still in it? So, interesting match. We had a lot to do against what Marath wants to do. They never even played Marath, because I'm not sure it would have been that good against the spawning pit early on. Because we can, and we had a bunch of tokens and resilient creatures and stuff like that. And then I waited to play the Fanatical Devotion until I could use it to protect, or I waited to play Teysa until I could use the Fanatical Devotion to protect it. So that went pretty well. Even beating a Birthing Pod, which is a crazy good card. Our Phyrexian Arena cannot. The power of that card cannot be understated, though. That actually is probably what drove most of this match. Alright, got another match. I am on the play. Playing against Edgar Markov. Alright, looks like I have a vampire deck. I'm gonna Temple instead of playing the Grindstone. The Grindstone I don't think does much unless I randomly draw a Painter Servant, but then it still takes 6 mana to play everything in one turn. I definitely want that. Alright, they don't have a turn 1 play. So let's start with the thing that I can actually do combat damage with, since I have this Jit. Alright, Metallic Mimic. Alright, well I can't... Well, I can Pontiff it. I think I have to Pontiff it. I can use that ability again because I can manipulate the haunt. Alright, Gifted Aetherborn. Well, we'll play the Priest and a Grindstone. Say go. Ooh, they got the Obelisk. All right. I'm not sure the JIT does that much anymore. I can play it though. So I sacrifice a creature, tap 2 untapped creatures, and create a 5/5. Alright. Radiant Destiny enters battlefield. Creatures of the chosen type. They also have Vigilance. Oh, so that's a new one. Alright. And now they have Vigilance. Okay, let's just block with a Pontiff then. Do I need to sacrifice it? Not really. Oh, I could have... They gained life. I did kind of want to sacrifice it, didn't I? Do I attack? Yeah, I'm attacking. And here comes Edgar Markov, most likely. Yep. That's a 7/7. Jeez. Let's see what we can do here. So we can +2/+2, So we can make this a 7/7, but then that thing has death touch. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have attacked. I can get it back with the Karmic Guide. Can I kill this thing? No. I think I have to kill that thing. It's gonna be hard. Well, that's less hard. Yeah, I can just put it on this thing, right? And then they can't block. Does less damage, but leaves a blocker back. Another reason Vindicate would be nice. Okay, so if I block here, and block there, because I can't kill this thing. Well, I can with 2 angels, but I already, or 2 demons and the karmic. No, it still doesn't do it. That first strike is a big deal. Okay. I guess with the tokens, maybe I could have done it. And then I sacrifice a creature, this one. And then I morbid. Alright, and they didn't kill a Blood Throne vampire, which is awesome. Oh, I overpaid for that. I should have also done that a little differently. I should have played the skull clamp. That's what it comes down to. All right. I don't know if that's right, but it's close. They got something good? Brutal War Chief. Okay. This is getting difficult. So I'll take 6 here and kill this thing. Oh no, I can I forgot Teysa's a black creature. So I can sack the Blood Artist to -1/-1 everything. Does that do anything here? It keeps this thing alive because I can make this a 3/3 and then also saves me 1 life, but I lose the Blood Artist. But I keep the Demon. Okay. Oh, I could have pumped up my own creatures. I don't know if that really matters there. And then let's... Doing all this just to stop a 2-mana creature because these bonus abilities are insane. +2/+2. And then we might as well... These don't die. So there's no reason to do that right now. Alright, they're giving me the GG. I can sacrifice a lot of creatures to, yeah, you can't beat this value. I can eventually start killing off my Edgar Markov and the other things. So, yeah, okay. Alright, got another match. I am on the play. Playing against Grand Arbiter Augustin. His hand looks fine. Bitter Blossom, probably pretty good. Let's go ahead and play the Temple. I don't think I want another land. What do we get with Recruiter the Guard? Alright, got a cycling land. Well, I'm not going to wasteland yet. Just going to go ahead and play this Bitter Blossom. Better to have it in play when we wasteland. So, what's that? Toughness 2 or less? Oops. I'm not sure what we get here. Mentor the Meek would let us draw a bunch of cards. Well, they're keeping Counterspell mana up, though. And it's one of my only spells. So, I'm going to go ahead and wasteland them. Guess I could alternatively have just gone for my commander. I like the wasteland play, though. Alright, got another mana. That's pretty good. Let's attack first. Gonna play this as Counterspell bait. Oh. Never mind. Guess I'm going commander. I picked the wrong land to play. Black. Alright. No counters. It's a good sign. They got removal for my commander? White, white. Yep, swords. Okay. Around days, and I think the blasting station's pretty good here. All right, we can potentially kill Grand Arbiter Augustin with that because of the Pawn of Ulamog puts 2 creatures into play. And I think we want to kill Grand Arbiter Augustin. They want to kill utility lands. Little... I kind of want like a... Collector Brutality or something. Let's not worry about it. Sure. Yeah, let's attack first. Well, they haven't shown me a counterspell yet. Oh, okay. That's weird. Somebody go for that. Even mind sensor. Alright. Yeah. I don't need to lose a bunch of life. I shouldn't be able to counter this. Yeah. I probably could have changed these into white creatures. They going for Grand Arbiter? Oh, alright. Number another black creature you control dies, create a white spirit token. Alright, let's just let that happen. You don't want to auto-yield to this. I could probably automatically say yes, but I don't want to auto-yield to it. Yeah, they can only have so many wraths, right? Do I need to? No. Yes. There's Academy Rector, but I think I want to draw some cards with the Mentor of the Meek. Like some slightly better wrath protection than just the blasting station, but at least we've already made it through one wrath. Let's hope there's not another one. And if this is just Grand Arbiter Augustin, that doesn't worry me at all. I can actually kill him with the blasting station fairly easily. And draw cards. Alright, there he is. I only get one untap, so no. Search for Azcanta. Alright. Should be safe to pay one for this one. Alright, Windbrisk Heights. Pretty good. But I need 4 mana to draw all the cards. Go ahead and sack the recruiter of the guard. And sack this token. Spawning Prit's pretty awesome. As is Grindstone when you have a shred memory in your hand, or shred memory. Alright. Complicated way to deal with Grand Arbiter Augustin, but effective nonetheless. They are serum visioning. They can't do that again. I'll play Grand Arbiter Augustin. They don't have enough mana. So important not to get too confident. I am in the lead, but I think that involves playing the spawning pit so that I have outs to a Wrath. I could almost kill them with this. Alright. With the blasting station I don't no longer have. Do I want to sacrifice a creature to do a damage? No, that's fine. Do I draw a card? Yeah. It's hard to pass up drawing a card here. Inquisition. Let's play the spawning pit before combat. Let's attack. Do a ton of damage. Let's play the Windrisk Rites. Go Executioner. Let's Inquisition them. And I think I keep all this mana up to Wrathproof myself. Jace or Miscalculation. I guess Jace? Miscalculation doesn't scare me at all. So there's a big Dragon Lord Ojutai, but that doesn't save them. Alright, Jace the Mind Sculptor. Probably Digging? Yep, that's Digging. Not many cards that get you there. Yep, alright, there we go. Another awesome exhibit of the synergies in this deck. Alright, got another match. I am on the draw. This hand looks pretty keepable. Playing against Neheb the Worthy. 2/2 first striker. Other minotaurs you control have first strike as long as you have one or fewer cards in your hand. Renegade map, search your land. I prefer basic land. Okay. So, and whenever he deals combat damage to a player, each player discards a card. But I got some pretty resilient creatures. So we have a Marauder here. We've got a couple things to go ahead and scrub land and play a Grindstone. I don't know if he's playing a Minotaur strategy specifically or if he's trying to do something else. Alright, looks like it's Minotaurs. Opponent plays a Deathbellow Raider. Attacks each combat if able. It has Regenerate. I don't think I want to Marauder it. No. No, I'm not going to block. Let's play Bloodghast. It's free to get back. And take a little bit of damage. And first strike, not so great against 3/1s. Alright, there's Neheb. Taking 2 damage. Alright, well, I haven't drawn a land yet. What do we name here? What's she? She's a human advisor. We have zombie, skeleton, orc. I guess human. I don't think it matters a lot. Stem some of the damage at least. I can discard the reassembling skeleton to Neheb. Insolent Neonate. Alright. We're going to dump their hand. Looks like. Or at least that's what that card is there for. It's to help. Alright, and it has Menace. I mean, I'll take 2. It helps them pump up their Neheb, but also helps us a little bit. Tormenting Voice. Alright, that's a land. don't think I want a flashback Marauder just yet. Do I want a Teysa yet? Because I might Diabolic Intent for, yeah. Toxic Deluge is what I was going to say. But I might not need to. Alright, they're getting a land. Alright, they're sacrificing their Neonate. Hopefully they don't play another creature. And then I can get them with a Flashback Marauder. Tragic Slip. Alright. And something else? Door of Destinies. Choose a creature type. Clearly it's going to be Minotaur. Alright, well, I'm losing a card no matter what. Which one do I care the least about? It's probably the Executioner. Unfortunately, I don't get a token for this because they tragic slipped my commander. But I get to do some pretty cool synergies here. And this is, I can do that on my opponent's end step. So there's no sense worrying about it now. They do get to give it haste though, their Neheb, when they replay it. Which is unfortunate. And this is tapped, right? Yeah. Well, I'll probably sack the Marauder, just because our cards in hand are pretty important here. Let's reassemble some skeletons. That's an Aristocrat. I think I want the Academy Rector though. Seems like a pretty good blocker. Next turn, if they just don't attack, we can Diabolic Intent. Can't block here. So... But I would like to protect my hand, so the reassembling skeleton is my backup blocker. Still at 25 life. 100% blocking with Academy Rector here. see what we get. I'm not even sure what's in the deck. Darkest Hour is a combo. Grave Pact is pretty darn good, I think. Yeah, let's go with Grave Pact. That allows us to grind them out almost completely. They just don't get to keep any creatures. I could get something other than... What do I get with Diabolic Intent? Oh, Painter's Servant, huh? Maybe I should have left something back. I'm not sure. Let's get Painter's Servant here. And play the Mother Runes. And the Cartel Aristocrat as well. That allows us to force them to sack their Neheb as an instant. Alright, opponent packs it in. They can't do anything to the Cartel Aristocrat, Mother of Runes, and Painter's Servant Grindstone. That's a lot of value. So, yeah, managed to pull that one through. That was actually... these Neheb decks have surprised me from time to time. They can do a lot of damage really quickly. Alright, got another match. I am on the play. Playing against Tymna and Thrasios. And I need to mulligan this, which is unfortunate because there's some good cards in there, but we'll go ahead and keep this. And I think I do want Fatal Push. And we'll start with Skullclamp. Alright, what do we got here? A discard spell? Make me discard Lingering Souls? That would be awesome. It's not going to happen. They clearly pick Fleshbag Marauder if they have a discard spell. And they do. Yep, there goes the Fleshbag. I mean, they could have picked, you know. That was never going to happen. But we might get an opportunity to Fatal Push Thrasios here. That would be nice. And a Deathrite Shaman. I think I do Fatal Push that. And an Avacyn's Pilgrim. Alright, well, Deathrite Shaman is an excellent creature, and I think it deserves to be killed. Skursdag High Priest. Two untapped creatures. So if I play this and I draw a land, then I might be able to get a 5/5 next turn, because I can Lingering Souls and then Skullclamp them. But it might just die. Yeah. I'm gonna go for it. I guess I can skull clamp it. Of course, that allows them to Tymna and get in with the Avacyn's Pilgrim. But it plays around removal on the Skursdak High Priest because I get to draw a bunch of cards at least. Snapcaster Inquisition? That guarantees I can make a 5/5 next turn. You know what's in my hand. I mean, it means I can only do one. Oh, wait. No, I can't make a 5/5, can I? Because one of the tokens has to die. Alright, I'm gonna make them. And we're gonna kill one of them. And I'm gonna play this Windbreast Heights. And they're both very good. Recruiter of the Guard gets me the combo. Yeah, it's hard not to take that. Not protected from the death of my dude anymore, but... Is this Tymna? Alright, there's Tymna. Oh yeah, the Noble Hierarch. It's a good play. So I need a black mana. I'm not gonna block. I'm gonna let him get a card. They got a removal spell too? Because if they have a removal spell, I've fallen way behind. Ugh, that can't be good. Elvish Mystic, okay. Well, I could Diabolic Intent now. Let's attack. Blackland? Ugh. Really? I didn't even get a land. I have this perfect setup, and I can't sculpt together enough creatures to make the Skurzdag High Priest go off. And it's super unfortunate. Do I sack this? Yeah, I need lands. Like, not playing a land this turn would be very bad for me. Ophiomancer. Well, that's pretty good. Alright, so I got a dodge removal for another turn, unfortunately. And they're going to draw another card because I can't stop this Tymna attack. Yeah, that's not removal. Or that's removal. I assume they're going for the Skurzdag High Priest. They go for the Skull Clamp. Okay. Now, I'd also have to dodge a counter spell. Alright, I need the Carrion Feeder around. Alright, this Thrasios, alright. Can't really afford to do anything else. Alright, a Ophiomancer is awesome. Alright, there we go. They can go wide, but it's going to cost them. Alright, they've got a Fatal Push. Sacrifice the snake. Let's make a 5/5. It sucks that they drew that. And they're getting in with Thrasios and Snapcaster Mage. I'm going to block Thrasios. I can actually Toxic Deluge for 1. That does a lot of damage to them. Or I can attack with 3 creatures. White and white mana. Play this for free. Get 2 mana. Alright, they're scrying. So I think our intent is to be diabolical. I can attack with a carrion feeder first. They don't know what I'm going to do with this token. They could block with Thrasios, and I'm not going to sack the token. But I can't block with this thing anyways. I think it's Toxic Deluge for 1. Two's not right. Let's hope they don't have Daze or Force of Will. Alright. It should be hard for them to get in now. Need to stop that card advantage. Ulcerate. Alright, well, we'll sacrifice. It's a good creature. It's sad to see it go. What do they have now? Oh, they're scrying. Okay. Swords to Plowshares. All right. I could gain 5 life, or I could put another token on my dude. I think I want the life. I've got a Phyrexian Arena in my hand. They can't reasonably attack with both of these. Yep. Alright, Thrasios, awesome. Now, or Tymna. But Thrasios is better right now because they have more mana. Play the Jeweled Amulet. My mana has not been cooperating. Like, if I had drawn a black land there, I could have played Liliana and Teysa. Anguish Unmaking. Alright. Now, I should have sacrificed it. I mean, they'd lose 3 life to that, but... Now they play Tymna. Yeah. Card is broken. I cannot believe they haven't banned this card yet. But I'm doing alright, especially considering, well, they're not even going after me right this turn. So it worked out pretty well for me. This has to be white. Wake the Dead. Holy crap, what does that do? Probably gets countered? Well, they don't really have... It's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want X equals 4. So that's all my mana. And I can put all the tokens on... Carrion Feeder? What'd you draw? Judge's Familiar. Alright, well it's gotta be for 3 then, huh? Or is it? Yeah, it's gotta be for 3. Theomancer, Fleshbag Marauder, Skursdag High Priest, just the biggest bodies. And if they counter it, then they can't. They have to sacrifice one of their creatures to the Fleshbag Marauder. It's a pretty big blowout, honestly. Let's sacrifice the High Priest. Alright, they're scrying. Alright, they got Scrubland. Looks like they might want to replay one of their commanders. Oh, Scrubland went into play tapped. Okay. They left mana up for something. Alright, so let's attack. Do I want Teysa or Phyrexian Arena? The card advantage for Phyrexian Arena is awesome, but it doesn't allow me to... Actually, I can... Opponent plays Lotus Cobra. It's a good blocker. And Tymna for 7. draw 2 cards. Well, that's pretty good. What do we do with that? Do we attack first? They could double block. I could play the Reassembling Skeleton, and then they don't want to block, and then I need to sack it to the Phyrexian altar to pay for my Karmic Guide. That's not horrible. Although if they call my bluff and they double block, I can still play Teysa. Or I could just take both of their creatures and trade. Pro Black Flyer. Pretty good. Might actually pay for that next turn. I think I still want the Ophiomancer. The Skursdag High Priest is pretty awesome, but well, I could activate it next turn. I need another creature. But then it doesn't attack that turn. It's real close. Or I could Fleshbag Marauder them, but I don't think that's right. I want the Skursdag High Priest. Requires the least amount to make that work. Yep. Okay. Opponent was in a real bad position, and they threw in the towel. Oh man, it feels good to beat Tymna, especially when I was mana screwed for so long, and they had such a big advantage, and I still beat them. So losing single-handedly to Captivating Vampire notwithstanding, this deck looked pretty awesome. It's worth mentioning that I played against Jace Vryn's Prodigy, and they got out of Vidalcan Shackles, and that was also very hard to deal with. However, I mulliganed to 5 and got mana screwed in that matchup, so like I had ways around that, but I couldn't play them. So it ended up not being a very interesting match because Jace's already isn't a very interesting match. But then for me to not actually be able to cast my spells, I had a Grave Pack and a Sacrifice Outlet, and I just couldn't get anything to. I couldn't actually cast any of them. I was really close, but it just wasn't. So I didn't include that match, but I did lose an additional match to Jace Vryn's Prodigy. It seems like I was all right if I had gotten the mana that I needed. I don't know. I wouldn't have had all the spells that I had. It's hard to know, but it wasn't a particularly interesting match by any means, so I didn't include it. But it seems like people taking control of your creatures can be somewhat difficult to deal with. I don't know if you want like a Homeward Path or something like that. If I just gotten removal for the creature removal works really well against Captivating Vampire, but I couldn't get that online. I had already spent my removal, but I still think that was technically correct. You definitely want to kill their lords, and you don't know if they're going to get an even better lord, but you want to kill their lords early to spare your own life. There's nothing to get Homeward Path with, so it's probably not the right play. And I don't know if this deck wants Vindicate or Council's Blessing or Council's Judgment or anything like that. There were a few times that I'm like, man, it'd be nice to have, and then I ended up playing around those cards that were really, really good. And so, I mean, it seems like it's okay without those cards. There might be certain matchups where you really, really want them, but we seem to play around quite a few cards. What's interesting about that second Edgar Markov matchup is that they drew some of the best cards in their deck. That Obelisk and the War Chief are designed to end games. And they had like 6/6 1/1 tokens. And I still managed to pull that one out. So this deck is stronger than it looks like it should be. And that's kind of like the thing with Aristocrats. And there's some really interesting synergies. And there is no shortage of them, which is what's really, really cool. There was never really a time where I'm like, I have this card, but it doesn't synergize with anything right now in my hand. Exception maybe Grindstone. Grindstone only synergizes with one other card, whereas Painter's Servant actually can make all your creatures black, which synergizes with Teysa and a couple other things. So that one's, you know, that one's really awesome. But I drew Grindstone more often than Painter's Servant. So, but everything synergizes with everything so well. There were a couple of times where I drew too many sacrifice outlets. But there was also, you know, times where I was able to choose. Do I want to put a counter on Carrion Feeder, or do I want to sacrifice it for mana? Or do I want to sacrifice it to scry a card? Or, you know, you get those options. You get so much value where you can pivot on what you're using, which sacrifice outlets you're using. And if they remove one, you have another one. It's really critical to have a sacrifice outlet pretty much all the time. So I don't think it's wrong to run this many sacrifice outlets. And the fact that I drew 2 or 3 in play at a time, I don't think is a downside of this deck. And it didn't end up backfiring really at all. It's just, you know, a couple times people controlled my creatures. That was pretty bad. It's better when you can sacrifice them. Again, want more sacrifice outlets. But it's still pretty big, you know, if you can't keep Teysa in play because they can keep taking control of it or something like that, or, you know, those kind of things. So, really cool deck. Much, much stronger than I expected. I beat some real decks there, with the caveat that it was in the tournament practice room, and in the tournament practice room, people keep questionable hands, people just started playing with the deck, people, you know, there's all kinds of variables that make the tournament practice room, even with a real deck, it's less competitive than actually playing it in a tournament. So it's hard to say if these would beat those decks in a tournament. And we also have a sample size of 7, so there's that too. But it's the fact that we still had game, and we didn't just flop over to some of the strategies in tournament viable decks are really, really efficient. And, you know, I mean, Teysa had a pretty good advantage. Again, Edgar Markov drew some of their best cards. So, you know, the fact that we didn't just roll over and die is a good sign for the deck. Is it tournament worthy? Probably not, but it's good. And you can play it in the tournament practice room and play against real decks and not get really, really frustrated just because you're just getting beaten by the best decks in the format. You actually have game against them, and it can actually be really, really satisfying to beat them. So I highly recommend this deck. This deck was a lot of fun. You guys should check it out. So thank you for watching. Have a good one. I'd like to add one last thing. I've decided to do a format change. I've been contemplating for it for a while, but this channel is a hobby, and it takes a little bit more time of my time than I'd like it to. And I've decided to go down to 2 videos a week instead of 3. Hopefully it can lead to some higher quality videos as well. But I'm gonna stick with Rogue Wednesday, and I'm gonna do the decks of the week on Sunday instead of Monday, and I'm not gonna do a Saturday. Hopefully that'll give me a little bit more of my free time back, because I spend a lot of time working on stuff for this channel, and it's just a bit too much of a time commitment. I've kept it up thus far, but I'd really like to get a little bit more of my own time. So I hope you guys don't mind, but going down to 2 videos a week. So thank you for being viewers, and I will see you on Sunday.